Meljol is also pioneer in a way in starting the whole concept of financial literacy and financial inclusion in India with children from socio-economically disadvantaged communities. The most important has been transparency and honesty. I have been able to work with some of the organization only because our values matched. I'm really proud to say that there were times in the past where Meljol has said no to money because something did not fit into their value framework.
A development sector professional with over 20 years of experience, and he's been part of leadership teams of organizations like Plan International, Magic Bus, and Muktangan. Currently, he is the CEO of Meljol. Welcome, Devdutta.
Yep. Thank you, Santosh. Thanks for having me on the call.
Yes, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm sure, a lot of activities happening at Meljol. So we would like to know a bit about Meljol and what's really happening in the background.
Yeah. So see, Meljol, it's an organization started by Jeru Bilimoria. I'm sure you know Jeru also started Childline in India. And it's more than a 25-year-old organization. Started in Mumbai. And it initially started as a project of TISS and then later on got registered as a separate organization. And the idea was to work on the child rights using the UNCRC framework. Yeah. So Meljol has been working actively on rights of the children, mostly in collaboration with government system, which is government schools. And Meljol is also pioneer in a way in starting the whole concept of financial literacy and financial inclusion in India with children from socio-economically disadvantaged communities. So Meljol, I mean, it's been a long journey. We started as an implementing organization, then we got into partnerships with government teachers who in turn executed the whole idea. So government teachers also executed the whole idea. Then we also got into partnership model wherein we supported like-minded organizations to basically execute these programs on the field. And currently we have again started working on the field as a direct execution organization. And we are currently working in 2 states, which is Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh through our direct work. And the current outreach of children, youth, and other stakeholders would be around 60,000 for Meljo. And this is also largely, Meljo used to have big numbers because we worked with the school system. So post-COVID, things have changed for us. We did a lot of work during COVID also. We distributed ration, food grains, kits. In fact, we also distributed teaching aid to girls in Pune. The quantum of the dry ration goes to up to 60,000 kgs of dry ration that we distributed. So Meljol did a lot of work, supported PPEs also. And basically it's a old organization. We also have our sister concern in Aflatun International, which was started by Jeru in Amsterdam. Jeru is located in Amsterdam right now. So Aflatun International also reaches out to more than 100 countries for the financial literacy. And yeah, Meljol and Aflatun work as partners also.
Right. Okay. Fabulous. So a bit about from Meljol to a bit about what led you to join the social sector. It's been 20 eventful years. So what led you to be part of this mission?
See, Santosh, my case is slightly, I mean, it's actually not a very interesting story in my case because I was born in a, what we call it as a higher middle class family where there were no hardships. Father had a good job, financially sound background. So that we had not really seen poverty or experienced poverty ever in life. So that way it's a boring story of a middle class guy getting into sector. So वो अमीर आदमी आ रहा है या गरीब आदमी उठ के आ रहा है, that's not really the case. But probably the reason I'm here is also because this is something I have probably inherited from my grandparents and my parents. My grandfather was a He was a freedom fighter, and he was also involved in establishing and running educational institutes in my hometown. So I guess I got it from there. And I don't think I could have done anything other than this. मुझे दूसरा शायद कुछ आता भी नहीं है. I mean, every time I look back, I said मैं बाकी कुछ कर भी नहीं पाऊंगा. I don't think I could have gone to IT. I tried my hand at IT. I did 1 year of my post graduation in computers. And पहले 4 दिन में ही realize हो गया था कि ये होने नहीं वाला है हमसे. So then I left and I came to Karve and did my MSW. And from then on, it's been a very interesting and fulfilling journey. But yeah, it's basically answer is tough because I don't think anything else is possible for me.
Right, right. Absolutely. So that's also, you had your calling decided very early. So when you started working, so where did you start working, in your early days?
Yeah, that's a surprising answer. Meljo was my first job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's slightly dramatic. I came back to Meljo after 20 years of my working. Started in 2000 in Pune as a junior facilitator in Meljo. We were a 2 people team. So I was one of the person, then I had my colleague. And then now I'm back in Meljo. So the whole circle is completed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in the initial days, your Meljo, like you said, works on child rights. So
Yeah.
what was the initial moment when because you're practically part of the founding team, right? So how was it when you actually saw the change? Do you recall that? Which was your aha moment in the initial days?
I wasn't exactly part of the founding team, but I have seen the initial journey. I was fortunate to have witnessed that things changed. And that was something I thought ki iske baad I will remain in education and in child development. So, and Meljol was probably the perfect platform that anybody could have got. I would say it was one of the finest experiences that I have had. And I would consider fortunate to start my career with Meljo. Wonderful team, wonderful people, very honest, extremely honest, transparent organization. So all those early learnings were necessary for me. And yeah, but we were executing at that time. Later on, we shifted to training teachers. And I was fortunately part of a project called the Tweening School Program, which I still feel is one of the most creative projects and the aha moment, I'll tell you, I still remember it was 4th of September when I joined, and I was asked to conduct a session straight away with the children. And the moment I stood in front of the children, I knew this is what I'm loving. I knew ye karne mein bada maza aa raha hai. I never thought I would work with children. My initial idea was to work with senior citizens. The moment I went in the classroom, anybody else would have thought about. This was basically a program where two schools from a completely different background came together, became friends, and worked together. So Tweening School Program, I was part of the program. I could execute that program in the schools. And yeah, that's how it was. Amazing journey, even at the beginning. And even now.
Great. So I think Meljo was very lucky to have you as one of the team members, because it's very difficult to find good talent, right? I mean, we all sorry.
No, I would say it's other way around. I was lucky to find Meljo. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, that's also fair. But we all know in the social sector, it is a challenge to find the right talent to kind of partner your journey. So how has that been for you? How do you manage to motivate and get the right people with you to be part of your mission?
Hello. Yeah. See, all my journey, whatever little success I had, is because of the people. I have been fortunate in all my jobs to have come across some wonderful people, passionate people. And I guess it has been a two-way process where I have loved working with them. They have found me reasonably sane, जिसके साथ काम कर सकते हैं, या they must have found me interesting. And this has been, I would say, a relation of trust between all the people that I have worked with. So, I have worked with organizations which were funding agencies. For example, Plan was once a supporting organization, or Navam was a supporting organization. But then one thing was common everywhere was people. So yeah, basically it was fun and they have kept me going. Even now, Meljol has a wonderful team, amazing set of people. And I mean, you're aware of our sector. Success is very rare, but failures, you see them every day. एक छोटा प्रोग्राम करना है तो 10 बंदे मोबिलाइज करने में आपको 10 दिन 12 दिन लग जाते हैं, उसमें भी शायद 2-3 आ जाए. So during all those keeps you alive and motivate, and if you are willing to take some blows on your own chin and still stand up, I think that determines how you fare. So this has been a reasonably satisfying journey, thanks to all the colleagues that I have met with and worked with.
So amidst all these colleagues, any senior that you work with, has there been any inspiration for you in your career? Anyone that you think of?
It's tough to mention specific individuals, but I would still mention Dr. Nirmala Pandit of Navam. And I'm still inspired by her. I'm in awe with her, with the kind of person she was. I was with Meljo for more than 4 years. And when I find myself to be fortunate. And in addition to that, all my subordinates or colleagues who are still my friends in Magic Bus or in Meljo, we still work together. They were with me even when I started my own consultancy. But one person who stands out is Dr. Nirmala Pandit.
Okay, that's wonderful. And all of these people also kind of shape your core values and your value system, your leadership values. So what has been your core values as a core leadership values that has helped you in your journey?
See, the most important has been transparency and honesty. I have been able to work with some of the organization only because our values matched, and the whole take on empathy. Yeah. So these two for me are in terms of not just financials, but otherwise also. So this has been a key to work with any organization. I mean, is there an empathy from both the sides? Is there transparency and honesty? I mean, I would say key leadership value I have found with others, or somebody like Dr. Nirmala Pandit. I can vouch for her honesty, and I'm very sure even she can for mine. So waha, because you follow and you believe in the same thought, or you have the same principle in life. And fortunately, that has been case with many others also. Not just Dr. Nirmala Pandit, even Meljol as an organization. I'm really proud to say that there were times in the past where Meljol has said no to money because something did not fit into their value framework. So that's one of the reasons I'm still around, and I think I also follow that they are still we are with each
That's
other.
great. That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, now you're in a very interesting space where you're trying to build the whole financial independence in children, if I may want to kind of put it like, because you
Yeah.
want to start very early. Things are changing, technology is accelerating change. So how do you deal with innovation in your organization to cope with these change, and so that your the impact and the effectiveness of your program is always alive and active?
I'm a very high risk behavior person, Santosh, when it comes to my professional space. If you see me when I'm driving, I follow all the rules. But when I'm working, there are hardly any rules that restrict me. And I also try to, have my team have similar look at things. So failures are, but during the COVID, maximum innovations have taken place. We have added community-based program in a very short span of around 6-7 months. We have created an entire vertical on easily accepted within my team. In Meljol, for example, Meljol has been working on financial literacy, quality education. So in fact, I looked at the question aha moment, I had one aha moment last week itself when we did a Mitra Melava where government officials came in, and I could see youth who became Akshar Mitra who are now teaching the younger ones. Because in COVID, tribal area, we work in Wada, Jawhar and Vikramgarh Taluka. So these children have not got any access to education. Online to chance hi nahi hai wahan pe. So our Akshar Mitras, we trained some of the youth from the community. They became Akshar Mitra, and in turn they teach the children who have been out of school. And we had that big exhibition, and it was so impressive to see them talking about pedagogy. about how the execution is to be done. So one of those aha moments, and it came out of our, I'll say, risky behavior. We had not done that in the past. We decided to go with it, and we said, let's try out kuch innovation karte hain. And that gave birth to another vertical, which we will be launching soon, which is life skills and livelihood. So we are going beyond financial literacy. Even in financial literacy, Santosh, we have more been on saving and low cost insurance, which is given by government. So in Meljol, every child is part of Aflatun Bank, wherein they save money. जितना कर सकते हैं उतना करते हैं. Expenditure and responsible we are around that. But 2 years back, we introduced the whole concept of, on an average, they end up saving anything between 500 to 700 per year. And then they are they take the decision on what is to be done with their own money. So we introduced this whole concept of insurance, and more than 5,000 children bought insurance in the name of their parents by paying money through their savings. So that was another risk we took. It paid off. बच्चों को बहुत they got kicked कि मैं इंश्योरेंस ले रहा हूँ मेरी फैमिली के लिए. अगर कुछ गड़बड़ होता है तो my family will receive money through central government. So again, it was a calculated risk, well thought out risk, but it still was a risk going beyond that comfort zone. Right. So in Meljol, nobody is allowed to be part of the comfort zone. Okay, you have to keep challenging. Yeah.
That is your innovation formula. Keep pushing people out of their comfort zone and take risks. That's very, very, I think it's a high risk, high reward mechanism, which really works for sure. So while you did mention it throughout the conversation, various aspects of measure of success. But if I were to ask you to sum it up in maybe a couple of sentences, how do you measure the success of a leader? What is your take on that?
See, whenever I have been interviewed, it's more from leadership point of view. People who report to me, or technically who are my subordinates, what is it that they think about me? So I insist कि भैया आप उनसे भी बात करो. And for me, that has been one of the major, normally people ask for references. I insist that they also talk to my subordinates. See, मेरा senior मेरे बारे में क्या बोलता है is a different story, but it's indicators of success. Where people, they still want to work me. There are people in the organization who join because I am there, who are willing to compromise on money. Thoda sa kam hai, chal jayega. So people have inspired me. I hope I have also inspired people. So that has been the biggest thing. And because at the end of the day, for me, paisa nahi hai, chal jayega. You will get money from somewhere. But people are the ones who are going to drive the whole thing forward.
So true, yeah. Thank you so much for that, Elizabeth. And the last question is, how can anybody who's watching this contribute to your efforts and the effort of Meljol?
See, it's a simple thing. They can, the easy way, there are two ways of looking at it. You can get involved with Meljol's work. Either through non-financial means, if you are good at something, if you are good at life skills, and if you are willing to take out time to mentor youth, we would be happy to have those volunteers coming with us. Or if you want to donate, it has ATG, 12A, and all we fulfill all the so they can donate to Meljol. Our website is w.meljol.org. They can do on that, but of course that website will now be defunct for a few days because we are revamping the whole another week or so. Looking at mentors in each of our locations, people from different walks of life. We already have a few in Pune. We have our offices in Pune. We have a district office in Pune. We have an office in Gad, which covers Vikramgarh, Wara and Jawar. We also have an office in Uttar Pradesh, Hardoi. And we have an office in Airoli. So we also look for people who could, become mentors with us, guide our youth, spend time with them, and also support our staff in acquiring new skills and, basically being competent and progressive and forward looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be putting in the social media links and your website link as well when we post this. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. It's really been a very interesting conversation, and we're hoping and wishing you all the very best for
Yep.
all your interviews. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Santosh. We keep in touch.